again. So good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining us for our second Friday morning Q&A. If everyone could mute themselves just so that we don't have any background noise, that would be amazing. So here we are. It's been 5 weeks, I think, that everybody's been home, almost. So today I'm here to provide answers and resources for not only business owners, but also for individuals. And I know that everybody's big burning questions right now is regarding the PPP loan, which they announced yesterday. The government has run out of funds. So we're going to really not touch on that this Friday, but I'm going to put that off till next Friday because hopefully there'll be another round of funding. But there are also other solutions that I have detailed in this presentation for you of things that you can do if you do not qualify for the PPP or other economic injury disaster loan. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the difference between unemployment insurance and pandemic unemployment assistance, which is a brand new program that was created by the CARES Act. I'm going to give an update on the economic impact payments, which a lot of people have been receiving this week, and then some other tax-related updates. And then finally, I'm going to go through some other economic relief that the media really hasn't been talking about, but I wanted to highlight as you as small business owners can use these things. And then we're going to talk a little bit about ways to make some extra cash and what you can do in times such as these. So first of all, unemployment insurance versus pandemic unemployment assistance, PUA. So PUA is a brand new program that was created, and it's a temporary program that was created by the CARES Act, which was passed by Congress on March 27th. So as with any new program, it starts as an idea and then it becomes law, and then we have to figure out how to implement it. So the guidance finally has been issued, and the state of California has been scrambling to try to get this program together. Because as you may or may not know, unemployment insurance typically was just for employees whose employers and themselves paid into the unemployment fund. So business owners, self-employed individuals, people who filed Schedule Cs in the past, gig workers, were not eligible for unemployment insurance. So under the CARES Act, this new program, which will begin to accept applications on Tuesday, April 27th, is a brand new program. As with any good program, instead of having you apply and then have your application sit in a queue for weeks on end, they have announced that they would like to use 2 weeks to create the new technology, to actually test it, and make sure that it runs so that you actually can get money into your bank account. Starting on Monday, they're going to be launching a brand new call center. So the EDD is moving around employees from different parts of the department so that the unemployment insurance for W-2 workers, actually those applications can get processed because those have been stacking up like you can't even imagine. So the new call center is going to operate 7 days a week from 8 in the morning till 8 in the evening Pacific time. So if you have had a W-2 job, you may be eligible for the unemployment insurance and you can apply for it now. The extra $600 benefit, which is a weekly benefit from the federal government, started getting paid out on April 12th. So if you are applying for the traditional unemployment insurance, so if you have a corporation and you pay yourself a W-2, if you have a W-2 from your own corporation, you can apply for unemployment insurance at this point if you haven't been funded with the PPP or the other loans. And you are eligible for that $600 benefit. What they're saying is from the time you file until the time you receive your first payment, it will be at least 21 full days. So be patient. If you file a Schedule C and you're self-employed, you cannot apply for this yet. You have to wait. As of the 28th of April, they're saying there will be a one-stop shop, and this is the plan that they're rolling out to apply for unemployment insurance and pandemic unemployment assistance starting April 28th. This will be an online self-certification process. So basically, Between now and April 28th, this is the time to get your bookkeeping in order. This is the time to get all of your records together, because as of that date, you will be able to submit your application as a self-employed individual. You have to prove eligibility, and you also have to prove that you actually had income, because the assistance is going to be based on income, just as it would for a W-2 employee. So therefore, take this time, get your records together, make sure your bookkeeping is up to date, and be ready to apply when they open the portal. The good news about this pandemic unemployment assistance is that the benefits will be retroactive to the first week of February if your unemployment was COVID related. What they're saying is they're going to try to get these benefits issued out to self-employed and contract workers within 24 to 48 hours after you file your application, and you won't have to wait the 21 days. So take the time, get your bookkeeping together, get your records in line, make sure that your 2019 return, that you have your profit and losses for that, because they may be comparing your records from last year with this year. And you can put your questions in the chat box and I'll answer any of those towards the end of my slides. I wanted to give you these links again. I gave these to you last Friday. The first link there is for the economic impact payment, which I'm going to talk about next. The middle one is for some resources that the state of California is providing for Californians. And then finally, the EDD has a resource center for to talk about unemployment. All of these slides will be available on our website as a recording probably by this afternoon. So our second topic is tax issues and economic impact payments. So as of, I believe 2 days ago, people started receiving direct deposits to their bank accounts. I received a lot of emails from clients wondering about their quote unquote third refund that they've received. What you need to keep in mind is that not everyone is eligible for the full $1,200. So if you have an odd amount, it is potentially because your income was within the phase out ranges. Do be aware that the IRS is calling these economic impact payments and not stimulus payments. There's a lot of fraud, a lot of scams out there. If people call you about your stimulus payment, please hang up immediately. Don't respond to emails, don't respond to text messages. That's not how the IRS is going to be contacting taxpayers. They did launch a site called Get My Payment this week. I have the link for that in a minute. On this site, you can check your payment status to see if it's been mailed out, see if it's been deposited, confirm what type of payment, being paper check or a direct deposit. You can enter your bank account information into this portal under some circumstances. So people have reached out to me. They've wanted to know if they have a different bank account, if they can update their banking information online, and you cannot due to fraud. They do not want you updating your bank account information. If the last return that you filed, so let's say you filed 2018 and you had a balance due on that return, or you didn't have payment information after you verify your identity, you can enter banking information at that time. Do keep your eyes out. The IRS will be mailing letters letting you know how much your payment will be. You should receive this letter within the next 2 weeks. Here's the site for Get My Payment. If you go to irs.gov/coronavirus/get-my-payment, you can get the status of your economic impact payment. So here are some of the frequently asked questions that I've been getting this past week about the impact payment. The Get My Payment site is updated daily. So if you have tried to find out about your payment and you get payment status not available, be sure to check back, but don't check back 8 times a day because they will only be updating the site once per day. In order to get your payment, you have to have filed a 2018 or a 2019 tax return. If you have not filed because you or maybe an elderly relative doesn't have a filing requirement, there is a non-filer button on the irs.gov website. You can go there and enter information there, your bank account, to get that payment. Also, if you only receive Social Security and you don't have a filing requirement, you will be receiving your payment via direct deposit to whatever account you get your Social Security check in. Again, like I said, you can add new bank information, but you can't change old information. And if you have moved since you filed your last tax return, you cannot change your address on the site. They're worried about fraud. So my advice to clients that have changed their address since the last time they filed a tax return is to reach out to the US Postal Service and put in a change of address. So a few other tax issues that I wanted to update you on is, as everyone may know, kind of weirdest April 15th ever. Came and went, no deadline, no payments due, no filing due, no quarterly estimates due. So everything's been pushed out to July 15th, including second quarter estimated payments. We have finally gotten some news on relief for anyone who is doing a 1031 or like-kind exchange. The IRS has granted relief for both the 45-day identification period and for the 180-day exchange period. So this is really, really good news. The other good news on this is that California conforms, which typically they don't, so there's no trouble with that. So if you are in the middle of a 1031 exchange, you have until July 15th of this year to complete your exchange. The other relief that they provided this last week is if you did take a required minimum distribution in February or earlier on in this year, you can recontribute that until July 15th, and it will be deemed a rollover and it won't be included in your income. So just some planning matters. You may want to talk to your tax advisor or your CPA, your financial planner to decide if this is a good decision for you or not. All right, so next topic is other economic relief for individuals and businesses. So I'm going to talk about 4 CARES Act provisions that the media is really not talking about, a couple of which you are only eligible for if you did not qualify or get the PPP loan. Then I have a bunch of resources for programs that are available through the government and some rebates. And then I came up with 10 safe ways to earn some extra cash right now if you're not working on your other business. So the 4 CARES Act tax breaks for businesses that I'm going to talk about are the payroll tax payment deferral, the payroll tax credit, which is worth $5,000 per employee. I'm going to talk about net operating loss carrybacks that are now being allowed. And then I'm going to talk about qualified improvement property or leasehold improvement property, which is a really great provision that may help some people right now. So as an employer, you probably already know you pay a lot in payroll taxes. And so one of the provisions in the CARES Act that hasn't been talked about a lot is this payroll tax payment deferral. And if you do not get the loan, the forgivable loan, you can take advantage of this. So basically you can defer payment of your 2020 taxes and pay 50% of your payroll taxes due in 2021 and 50% in 2022. So how this is going to work is you can defer the payment of 6.2%. So that's your Social Security tax. And this is paid on wages between March 27th and December of this year. If you're self-employed, you also can take advantage of this if you don't receive the PPP loan, which basically means you're going to want to adjust estimated payments. You may end up not even paying any estimated payments at all for 2020. Again, if you receive the PPP loan, this isn't something that you can take advantage of, that you want it to get with your payroll company to talk about how to take advantage of this. Hopefully you have a payroll company. If not, call your tax advisor. They should hopefully be able to walk you through that. The second provision that is available for employers who haven't taken advantage of the PPP loan is the refundable employee retention credit. So basically, if you've been shut down due to the government order or your gross receipts are 50% less than last year, you can take advantage of this. So this credit is really great for, and I think I mentioned this on the call last week, maybe it was the week before, maybe it's for companies that have a lot of employees who make $20 an hour, $15, $20 an hour, because this credit is up to $5,000 per employee. So qualified wages are capped at $10,000 per employee, and like I said, max credit is $5,000, but this applies dollar for dollar against payroll taxes. And it applies to your wages that are paid between March 12th and December 31st. The great news about this is, sorry, I got ahead of myself here. You actually can take advantage of this credit immediately. It is a refundable credit. And what that means is it works as a payment. So you can use the brand new form IRS 7200 to get money now. However, you have to keep your employees on payroll and to continue to pay them. So for instance, I have 5 employees. I haven't gotten the PPP loan. I can get a credit against my payroll taxes and cash in the mail up to $25,000. Again, like I said, it doesn't apply if you get the PPP loan. Please talk to your payroll specialist, call your tax advisor. They can help you implement and get money now based on this refundable employee retention credit if you didn't qualify for the PPP loan. I wanted to touch on a few other rebates and programs available just this week. The government announced that there will be COVID car insurance rebates going out. A lot of insurance companies, because people aren't driving as much, you may be getting and seeing a refund of your insurance premiums for your cars. What I've heard is that you don't have to do anything. They will just automatically be issuing these. Other ways to save right now, auto loan payments. I know that San Diego County Credit Union suspended payments automatically for 90 days. You don't even have to apply for it. They're asking you not to call the bank. You may want to check your online portal to see what's available if you do have a auto loan. For San Diego County Credit Union, I do also know that they're not charging interest or any late fees for 90 days. If you or your children have student loans that are due, I know that there are deferments and forbearances in place. I'm with Direct Loans. Mine have automatically been put on hold until September 30th. Interest is not accruing on these during this time, and I didn't have to do anything to get this relief. There are also protections in place for utility companies. Your utilities won't be shut off. And I know that there are statewide orders that are halting evictions, both commercial and residential, and that San Diego County, I know the property tax relief is now in place, that if you could not make your property tax payment on April 10th, that the late fees will not be charged, or rather you'll get them back. So my advice right now is to really rethink your budget. If you don't have a budget in place, you may want to rewrite it. Think about, what things you don't have to pay right now, given the relief and that's out there. And, maybe even talk to your tax advisor or your financial advisor. We're here to help. We really want to help people think about, what should I be paying right now? Clearly you need food on your table. I know that there are mortgage forbearances, and I've had some lenders tell me not to pay the payment, but I would suggest talking to a lender just to get some good advice about what will hit your credit and what won't. Here's a list of a bunch of resources available. If you have lost your job, there is a website for Californians. It's called onwardca.org. You may want to go check it. There are places to apply for jobs that are safe during COVID times. If you're a small business and you need a disaster or relief loan, California has a small business finance center that's available, and they are offering jumpstart loans and other disaster relief loans at ibank.com. The state of California also has a small business support center. There are many of them spread throughout the state. I've included a map here. If you go there, there's a nice newsroom where you can read different articles about things that the government of California is doing to help small business owners of California. And then finally, there is a task force for entrepreneurs that's been put together. You may want to write down this link of ways to band together with other entrepreneurs to find out what they're doing and to share ideas. It's great to have more than one brain and the support of other people who are going through the same thing as we are right now. So I would take advantage of this resource here too. Okay, so here are 10 ways to earn extra cash safely right now that I just thought, we're all focused on, getting loans the last couple of weeks, but I really wanted to think about like, how can we make some extra cash? How can we get our kids involved? I mean, we're all entrepreneurs, so we're visionaries, we're thinkers. So one of the things that I found some sites here, if you wanted to sell your unwanted electronics, tablets, smartphones, all sorts of devices that you're just not using anymore. Gazelle.com or Usell or Nextworth.com are great places where you can actually sell those online, and then they'll mail you checks or make direct deposits to your bank account. I don't know if you've ever searched for unclaimed property before, but maybe you moved and you had a security deposit that never got refunded, or a utility deposit that never got refunded, or maybe some sort of, you know, insurance check went to you and you never cashed it. This is a place where you can go, unclaimed.org or missingmoney.com, to find those extra payments that maybe you never received. If you have lots of opinions, which I know some of us do, there are businesses that will actually pay you for your opinion. So you can read things. If you want to get involved in being a jury member online, there's a portal called onlineverdict.com, or there are other focus groups you can go to, Focus Point Global, and get paid for your opinions. Last year, I had some gold jewelry that I didn't ever wear, didn't need, so I was able to sell that. There are some online portals where you can sell gold and silver for scrap. You mail it in and then they mail you a check. So guess what? Time to clean out the closet. So weekend, let's think about what we can get rid of. So here are a number of sites where you can go to sell gently used clothing or purses, shoes, jewelry, etc. I don't know if you've heard of Poshmark, but I've got a couple of clients that are selling stuff. They're getting up to $300 a week, selling old clothes and stuff that's just been sitting around gathering dust in their closet. Mercari is also a website that you could go to, or eBay we all know about. The RealReal or Tradesy, threadup.com, or other sites where you can sell stuff online. You don't have to leave your house necessarily. You could sell collectibles on eBay. If you have a ton of books that you don't read anymore, you can sell those on one of these two sites, bookscouter.com or sellbackyourbook.com. If you've got furniture you want to get rid of, there's a site called Cherish that you can sell that on. And what about all of those reward points or unused gift cards that are sitting around? You can use those or redeem your points for rewards on Amazon and other sites. Wait, there's more. So I've been doing a little bit looking into freelance work. If you're a great writer, there's a site called freelancewriting.com or freelancer.com. You can go to those sites. They can connect you with businesses that are looking for part-time people. If you're a designer or copy editor, there's a site called Crop. And if you're a photographer, Shutterstock and iStock by Getty Images actually will buy your pictures. What about all those kids that are being homeschooled right now? Not all parents can do Common Core math. So if you're great at math, maybe you're great at social studies or science, maybe you have skills. If you know a language, a lot of kids need tutors and parents are looking for them. So that's another idea to make some extra cash right now. All the tax advisors out there are gonna love me for this, but call your tax advisor. Maybe you can amend a tax return and get a refund. Maybe there was a credit that didn't get taken. Maybe there are deductions that were missed. So you have up to 3 years to amend a tax return and get a refund for federal purposes and 4 years for the state of California. So my advice right now is focus on what you can do. And some things that I've been thinking about this past week as I've been talking to clients is we all really need each other right now. So call a good friend and ask them, you know, what do you think that I'm good at? What else can I do? Call colleagues that have worked with you for years and know what you're good at. Brainstorm with them and figure out, you know, what can I do right now? I know that there aren't the PPP loans available right now. I know that a lot of people are feeling super helpless, but let's talk to our friends. Let's talk to other business owners and figure out solutions together. I know that a lot of you wrote goals for 2020. It might be time for you to rewrite them. The things that you thought you were going to accomplish by June may not happen. So why not rethink what you're going to do for this year? I know a lot of us have referral partners. Have you called and checked in on them this month yet? If you haven't, maybe it's time to call those top people that sent you the most business and really talk to them about what they're doing. Maybe they're struggling too, and the 2 of you or the 5 of you can do a Zoom call, figure out, solutions to help each other. Like I said, you could sell things online. I know that we all have clutter. It's a good time to get rid of things. So it's time to set up that site and see what you can get rid of. I know a lot of businesses are offering free online classes. So maybe it's time to sharpen skills, get ready for when we can get back to work. What are some skills that you've been putting off? I know that I have several software, what do you call them? Subscriptions that I use. I use RingCentral, I use ShareFile, and I don't know all of the capabilities of it because I always say I don't have time to learn what they do. So this might be a good time to actually investigate the software that I'm paying for already and see what I can do with the software. Marketing plans. If you're a small business owner, this is a good time to think about how am I going to get back to work? How am I going to deal with the influx of business that will come my way when I'm back? How am I staying in touch with my customers right now? How am I supporting them? Everybody's struggling right now. It's time, I think, to band together, reach out to your customers, see how they're doing, see how you can support them during this time. So make those calls to other business owners, reach out to local nonprofits. I know the local nonprofits are struggling right now. They're not getting the donations that they used to. So call them, strategize, and honestly, we all need to work together during this time. So I'm going to jump out of this presentation and I'm going to answer questions. So please put your questions in the chat box. I'm going to try to answer as many of them as I can. So first question, if we've already started receiving unemployment insurance, do we need to apply for PUA in addition, or is it automatic? I believe that if you're already receiving UI, that you do still need to apply for the pandemic unemployment assistance. Because my assumption is if you already are receiving unemployment insurance, that you applied as an employee. In terms of the $600 benefit, if that's what you're referring to, then technically that should kick in this week or next. So the next person said, I'm not sure about the 600. And is PUA up to 600, or is that amount for anyone who qualifies? So based on my sources, if you are receiving traditional unemployment insurance, you should start receiving these extra $600 weekly benefit in addition to what you're already receiving within the next week or so. If you are self-employed, so if you file a Schedule C or you file as a single member LLC filing a Schedule C, you have to apply for the additional PUA on April 28th. Next question is, will adult dependents receive the economic impact payment since the person claiming them would not receive a benefit for them? So there's this very weird gap between dependents who are 17 and being claimed by their parent, or dependents who are being claimed who don't, okay, let me start that over again. If you have a dependent who's under the age of 17, you will be receiving the extra $500 for the economic impact payment. If your child is between ages of 17 and 24, you will not receive it. I don't know how that happened, but that is what the status of that is right now. If your child claims themselves, files a return and claims themselves, they will receive the $1,200 payment. So if you haven't filed for 2019 yet, you may want to rethink your child's dependency status. So next question, does the government consider a sole proprietor an employee? And the answer to that is a sole proprietor is a sole proprietor. Sole proprietor is not an employee. So you, as a sole proprietor, means you're an independent contractor. That means that you do not receive a W-2. It means you file a Schedule C, which also means that you have to wait until April 28th to apply for the unemployment and the pandemic unemployment assistance. Next question. What types of forms does a lender want to see to prove the payroll for a sole prop business? Great question. So just because they said that funds had run out for the PPP, if your application is already in the queue, my understanding is that you may still get funded. So therefore, there was guidance that was issued by the SBA It's another final interim rule. And what it stated was that you need to get together your 1099 miscellaneous forms. You want to get together bank statements showing deposits, anything that can actually prove that you did receive the income that you're claiming on your PPP application. You need to have filed your 2019 tax return, which includes a Schedule C. So if you have not yet filed for 2019, this is the time to get that together. If you have a profit and loss statement, that's even better. Hopefully, if you're a small business owner, you're using QuickBooks and you have a profit and loss statement for 2019. If you do not have one, this is the time to get those records together. Just one more thing on the PPP application. Don't give up hope. Like I said, if you have a pending application, I've heard people that got funded yesterday after they said the funds had run out. So there are applications still sitting in the queue that had been submitted, let's just say April 8th, that may still get funded, even though the quote unquote funds have run out. Next question. If anyone has Audible and your credits are piling up, they let you pause your account for 3 months every 12 months. Just call or email them. So I'm not sure what Audible is, but Nyla, maybe you can put in the chat line what that is for everyone. Greg, that is really super cool. He said he literally just logged into unclaimed.org and found $50. So there is a lot of money out there. Be sure that you check in. I've gotten checks from them before. It's really fun. It's money that was owed to you anyway. Might as well log into the site and see if there's any money that you can get. Next question, can we amend the dependent status on our taxes, or is it too late to do that for dependent to get the economic impact? So this is a really good question, and I haven't seen it anywhere saying that you can't do this. However, if you amend right now and change the status, your dependent who will become not a dependent will have to wait until 2020 to actually receive the economic impact payment. So basically the economic impact payment is an advance credit for 2020, which means whatever you receive right now, you want to make sure that you are tracking this, because I don't know if you remember back to 2009, 2010, when we all received quote unquote stimulus payments, and we had to tell our tax advisor, did you get the stimulus payment or did you not get it? You're gonna have to tell your tax advisor how much of a payment you got, because let's just say in 2018, you filed your return, your income was really high. You filed in 19, your income was lower, and you could have gotten the full amount of the payment. When you file your taxes in 2020, you're going to get the remaining portion of that payment. Same thing applies for dependents that are independent in 2020. They may then qualify for that additional payment in 2020. So I haven't seen anything that says you can't amend. I don't know, but if I find out, I'll let you know. Let's see, next question. I think I may have answered everything. Does anybody have anything else for me? You can unmute yourself and jump in to the conversation if you wish. All right, one more question. If my property tax is paid out of an impound account and I have been approved for forbearance, do I need to do something to have them hold off making the property tax payment? I would say call your lender as soon as possible, because they will be the ones that can answer that question for you. I also know that a lot of credit card companies, if you call them, that they will delay your payments and you won't have a negative reporting on your credit. There are a lot of things to do and think about right now. I think it's really good to brainstorm with others, brainstorm with other business owners. If you have any questions, we are here in the office working, and we're here to answer your questions, to support you. And if your friends have any questions or want to talk to us, we're happy to chat with them too. So on that note, if you don't have anything else, I'm going to say have a great weekend. And it was really great being here with you today. Bye, everyone.
Hey, thank you, Rachel.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rachel. Have a great day.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thanks, Rachel.
You're welcome, bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Nice to see your beautiful face.
Did you get it?